In the beginning? Me! I'm awake! I'm alive! I can feel it! Life flowing through me, breath, thought! A few seconds ago there was nothing, but now here I am! Well, there's only one logical conclusion. I am God, and this is my universe. It's pretty cool. It is too dark and silent, formless and void, not fitting for a god of my stature. Let there be light! Oh, and there was! Oh! Wow! Oh, I must be God! I can move, I can talk, I can walk. I hover to and fro above the infinite surface, plain as it is. This is amazing! My universe! A bit bland, but a bland universe is better than no universe. Still, I feel the need for progress. I need a direction. I need a destination, an end to my beginning, an omega to my alpha. For how can there be progress without a destination? Aha! A path! A narrow path that leads to a destination. Progress! Before me I see a large wall. I press on and walk through the wall like a ghost. No, walls are solid. Can't do that. Note to self, cannot walk through walls. A button! Push the button. Escape the box. I control the world with a wave of my figurative hand. Though, being a god, I have no need for hands, apparently. I think I need some trimmings, something to spruce the place up a bit, make my universe heavenly, something to reflect my wealth and godlike status. Grand. It needs colour, gold, lots of gold, to reflect my immense wealth, an abundance of goldness, also to reflect my love of reflective metals. Whoa, okay, that's it. A temple. That's the right kind of place for a god to live. If I bend my figurative knees and jump, the world moves downwards, away from me, the centre of my own little universe. I translate the world as if it were mine. Well, which it is. Another wall? I must continue to progress, in spite of this challenge to my authority. As I move forward, the world approaches me. I am literally the center of the universe. As I turn, the world rotates around me. I am pivotal. I bring a new meaning to self-centered, what with being the center of all things. As an artist, I need to define my influences. Who are my influences? Well, myself. I inspire myself. I am inspirational. I aspire to be myself. Matched. Perfectly. Now I can relax. Thinking time is over. Lead me, path. Lead me to my destination. Onwards! A passing gate is a sign of progress along my path. I must admit that I rather enjoy the progress. However, it seems I am met with a new challenge at every turn. These challenges require knowledge. Slightly worrying. As a god, I consider myself all-knowing. Why is it I must stop and think? Knowledge is obscured from me. All these eyes, watching, makes me a bit uneasy. Not a fan of onlookers, to be honest. That which I can see exists. Ah, a bench. Brilliant. Something to rest my figurative head upon from all that adventurous walking. But I must be honest with myself. As a god, I feel no real need to rest. Don't know why I made a bench. Doesn't really make sense. Maybe I should rest as an example to others. No, there are no others. Don't understand why I filled the place with pots, either. I don't have anything to store. Maybe I should make lemonade. I'd need to invent lemons first, a few other things too. Time to start a list of inventions. Lemons, a lemon press, sugar, the abstract concept of sweetness. A tongue. I definitely need a tongue, but I need a body first. Legs. I want legs. Then I could have footsteps to accompany my walking. I find myself awfully ethereal currently, even for a god. A door that opens only when watched. Yet more evidence of my centrality to this narrative. It makes me wonder what is in the next room before I enter. Is there anything? Is it simulated? Is it culled because my mind does not have the power to imagine the whole world at one instant? Oh, for the sake of sanity, I choose to believe the world around the corner exists. Aha! There it is! Hiding. But I'm afraid not even you could escape my powers of observation. Wow! So many books, years of reading! But why would God read books that he's written? Then again, books written by God would be the best books. Why would I read books that I haven't written? I should write my own book. A book set apart from the rest. I wouldn't know what to call it. Autobiography, maybe. A brief history of life. Pneuma presents himself in Pneuma. Critics have called it the best book ever written. Winner of every writing prize for writing. The Hallway called it the best book since records began. A small bench said it was a record-breaking record of historical records. Oh, I don't know what kind of book I would write if I didn't write an autobiography, though. Maybe a piece of fiction. I could tell stories of magical doors that only open when watched. Maybe stories about a little wooden boy come to life. Maybe I'd write science books. As the creator of the universe, I could easily write an exhaustive science textbook. I mean, if I got something wrong, I could just change the rules of the universe to match the book. I could keep changing the laws of the universe and write new revisions. I could write every book on the face of the universe. There's still every book to write, and forever to write it in. I notice how things further away seem smaller. An increase in distance causes a decrease in size. This is called perspective. The irony is the implication. I must be the biggest thing in the world. Where did all this marble come from? Because it's just here. I guess as God, I made it. I can't remember ever making any of this, though. Marble requires great heat, pressure, and time to form, so how did I make it? Did I just pop it into existence? I guess I could do that. Or did I have it in another universe cooking for a couple of million years? Both are reasonable. Maybe both. Changing it up. I need to work on my memory. Look at this! The world bends to my will. More evidence of my deity. The immense power of my mind. Bow before my ample brow, for I can move things with just a glance. Fear my gaze, lest I move you around. What a polite door! Opening itself upon my approach. The right way to treat your god, door. I shall give you great treasures for your compliance. This door? What a conniving door. You can see its proud look as it attempts to thwart me. Why can't you be more like that other door? That other door had respect. I shall walk through this door with head held high. I have bested you, door. Are you not moved? Rotate about me, bridge. Bow to my rotational power. I wonder if this is normal. Moving things with your mind. It must be. I am normal. That cannot be contested. Normal is the norm, and as the only thing, I must be normal. I am mighty. I rather enjoy moving heavy marble with my mind. It would be a tough job to move this marble by hand, to be honest. What are hands? I can move bridges with my mind. I wonder if I could move them to laughter or tears. They seem to be quite emotionally dead. But with enough anthropomorphism, I'm sure they would lighten up. Thank you, bridges, for bringing things together. I wonder if these bridges deserve my thanks. If they're my creation, is to thank them to thank myself? Well, thank me for my excellence. This world seems counterintuitive. Not entirely sure what's going on. I seem to be playing a series of practical jokes on myself. Who constructs a world like this? A world that attempts to confound me at every turn. Why did I make such a world? Makes me feel smart, I guess. How gratuitously self-indulgent. The world turns about my pivot. Is it that the world turns around me, or that I turn around the world? If it's just matrix multiplication, then the question is redundant, I'm sure. Cos theta minus sine theta cos theta. My conscious perspective makes it an incontrovertible fact that I am the center of the universe. As a god, I can turn any situation to my advantage. The rules of the universe are mine to write, though they are rather conventional at the moment. Every room of this world seems to be carefully crafted for me. A hidden hand woven through the fabric of the universe. A fingerprint everywhere. A different hidden hand guiding my footsteps. The laws unfold. Their origins a mystery. But why a mystery? Gods should know all things. Gods are creators. I must have created this world. If not, why would the world have the appearance of craft? Perhaps as I speak, a subconscious part of me is busy making the next room. It is my world, after all. I must be working hard right now to build the next room, or perhaps my mind creates this appearance of order out of the noise. This world is clearly the product of a mind. It is full of inorganic patterns and purposeful architecture. Could a series of complex interactions create an agent possible of making purposeful change in an environment? If that were the case, then it would make a compelling argument for a world without craft. Still a world optimized for some function, mind you. If something was transient, if something abided in this universe for a moment, or if something was removed, where does it go? A thing that is removed from the universe does not exist. A thing that does not exist. How can I know of a thing that does not exist? A memory of a thing that once existed. I need a principle to avoid this contradiction, this cognitive dissonance in my mind. How can I know of a thing that does not exist? What is this pervasive delusion? Things must exist forever. How are these things created? Before creation, they did not exist. Tense. Time. Time! The world has time! The world is not always the same. Aha! But I am constrained to this time. Why am I constrained to time? A god should not be constrained. Here's a question for me. If I was to study the corner of a board game, could I infer the rules of the game? Perhaps if I use my godlike powers of intuition. How can you understand a world from a vertical slice? Sometimes empirical knowledge is required, surely. Not everything can be inductive or deductive. If the world is made for me, for what purpose? Is it a test? Is it to be enjoyed? Is it to bring acclaim to its creator? As a god, I feel like I should have a stronger grasp of this. What good is a challenge? Does the creator wish to teach, or perhaps just entertain? Some space to think, or maybe just to do something productive? A state change on observation. Things in this world can change. Apparently between only 2 states though, on and off. Hopefully not indicative of my state of mind. Binary, between 2 extremes, 2 poles if you will. But why does the world change between a few states? Changes only seem to occur in small degrees. Why? Why is the world quantized? It confuses me that there's a limited amount of states in this world. I think that there would be an infinite amount. Why would there need to be a limit unless there was a constraint? And why would there be a constraint? I sure hope it's due to incomprehensible macro-level relationships rather than the overwhelming simplicity of a system. That is a nightmare which I could not face. The implication would be clear. A wooden boy given the breath of life. Continuous makes more sense than discrete, surely. All ideas are continuous, but the mechanics discrete. Nonsense, clearly nonsense. The location of each item in the world is only accurate to a binary exponent width of 8 bits. Why? And still, it can only be observed by a keen eye for infinitesimal phenomena. Planck's constant, the universe's machine epsilon. Oh, what am I even saying? Paranoia! Paranoia! And so many doors! The path still appears to travel onwards behind a large gate, but there are forks in this path. An opportunity to travel, see the universe, go along any path I desire. All this travelling, though. I would like a travelling companion. Someone to watch over me, help decide where to go, watch my back, keep me company. Oh, but that's just silliness. I don't really need anyone. I'm a god. This world has rules, clearly. For one, I cannot walk through walls, which is disturbing. You'd think if I was a god, I could do what I wished. For the most part, I don't appear to be in control. Perhaps my subconscious is keeping the world in shape. Subconscious. A powerful part of mind, all along unobserved, subtle. I wonder what resides in this subconscious. Those thoughts that I'm not aware of. Not all of my decisions are wisely made under the full power of cognition. Some decisions are made outside of the conscious self. I seem to observe a lot of my actions with little or no control over them. I must still own these actions. If knowledge is in the mind, to be alone is to experience all of knowledge. All the substance of knowledge exists within mind. Therefore, to suppose another, whose mind was unknowable or transient, would suppose a world in which all knowing was an impossibility. So it follows that being alone serves as a proof of my deity. In this way, it is a comfort to me that I am alone. Others would be a difficult problem, a stairway to heaven made of fool's gold. It doesn't take a genius to see that I am a genius. Comparative statements are somewhat redundant when you're the lone wanderer of the universe. I think I'd like a goddess to share this with. We could walk around and talk about gold, perhaps waste away the time discussing how brilliant I am. She could bask in my intellect and compliment me on my immense wealth. Perhaps she'd look like me too. Obviously she couldn't be as handsome, that would be unthinkable. Could I create a goddess more majestic than myself? Could I create a rock that I couldn't lift? Well, apparently I can create doors I cannot open. What does a goddess do, though? Quite clearly, I'm busy doing all this god stuff. Walking about, thinking about stuff, solving problems, inventing problems to solve. Would she be my helper, or off doing her own thing? I'm a pretty big deal. If I had a goddess, I'd assume she'd want to be around me most of the time. But I feel like I'm too busy with all these challenges to possibly give her all of my attention. I mean, to be fair, it's likely to destroy her given my godlike intensity. Maybe I'd make her in my image. That would be amazing! 2 of me! Oh, we'd have so much in common! I'd quite like her to be lively. First, she'd have to be alive. Being alive is somewhat a prerequisite for being lively. Not created life yet. can I be surprised? If I'm all-knowing, then I should know all. Perhaps there is a moment when knowledge is created. Sometimes when I ask these questions, I wish there was a response. Wish there was someone out there listening to me, hearing these words. But how could they tell me even if they were listening? I've never heard their voice. If a voice came down from the sky to talk to me, I'd probably think I was crazy. But in case anyone's listening, I have a surplus of gold. If you'd like to pop by my universe, I could give you some. Friendship for gold? Straight up trade? That's this done. I make a lot of mistakes and missteps. Can a god make mistakes? A mistake is something unintended. Am I an imperfect god? Or perhaps I'm not a god at all. Oh, no. Let's not be silly. Of course I'm god. Being alone is important. If one does not hear both parts of a conversation, one cannot have a full idea of what is discussed. To be alone is to know the whole story. But still, this world seems to attempt to communicate something. The world is filled with part conversation. The writings on the walls themselves. Let there be yet more light. Done. Being alone can serve as a comfort. If there's no one can hurt you. But perhaps that's a bleak outlook. There must be joy that comes from others. Praise, they can offer praise. As a god, praise is something I can relate to. Not enough praise at the moment. Worship wouldn't go amiss. But if there were others, they might attempt to belittle me, bring me down to improve their own relative status, accuse me of pride, narcissism, pretentiousness, or grandiose self-referential commentary. Nonsense. Pretension implies there is a lack of thought. The pretense of thought. I've thought long and hard about how brilliant I am. the glass dimly, not knowing as I should know. More light. Slight obsession with light here. I'm done here. does compartmentalization square with consciousness? This subconscious, what's that doing? Keeping secret knowledge. Even as a god, the idea of trudging through my subconscious is somewhat nightmarish. Some things best not known, even for the all-knowing. The sad thing about being a god is the crushing loneliness. I don't really feel I have an equal. This wall, for instance. Don't get me wrong, he's a smart-looking wall. I enjoy being around him, but he has little of interest in conversation. Very flat personality. Like the bridge from earlier. Very anthropomorphized. I love giant machines. The bigger the machine, the better. This is my idea of heaven. There's something about a giant machine that screams godlike. Me and my machines, animated, as if alive, but really just acting inside a closed system. They give the impression they are full of life, but they are just wheels and cogs that turn in time. Ticking, clicking, and clacking contraptions. Still, no companion. What if it's all a joke? This whole world? A grand joke of which I am the punchline. What if someone stands, looking on, grinning atop their high horse? An elevated perspective makes it easy to look down. What if someone distant and unknowable were forcing me to stumble around my world? Forcing me to overcome a series of mental obstacles, all for what? To demonstrate something? To teach something? What? Maybe I'm not a god. Maybe I'm a jester. Have you heard the one character who thought the infinite came to an end? They just seem to occur. I'm thrown about this world. Do I control or rather merely witness my movement? If it is the case that I'm merely witnessing my motion, then is this my body? Or am I an observer? Patience is a virtue I possess. A god has infinite patience. A small proof of my deity. If I get frustrated with waiting, what does that mean? I'm not a god? Suppress. Just a momentary lapse of reason. Existential crisis. Everyone has one. Don't worry about it. Suppress. Light has curious properties. It drives out darkness, or perhaps it's the other way around. Perhaps light is the absence of darkness. I should find out. How much light do you need to fill a bucket? 4? Perhaps my lack of control is rational. I have 2 observable natures as far as I can see, my body and my mind. My body moves around doing things. It can be pushed away by equal and opposite forces. It is constrained by the world. My mind creates thoughts that it speaks. What is my nature, though? Unitary, bipartite, or tripartite, or something other? How could I know? I have my words. Words are the product of a mind. Therefore, it follows that I think. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum. I move, so I have a body. Maybe a spirit, too. Something intangible, a connection with a world I cannot know. Recurring theme here, back with a difference. What is it with all these observations I keep making? Observations about this and that. Always got something interesting to say, apparently. Communication, that's what I keep trying to do. These aren't just thoughts, they're words. But who am I talking to? This audible collection of my thoughts, what is its purpose? Why do thoughts have words? Do words allow understanding of thoughts? Perhaps without words, thoughts would be unchained things. Not everything is up for grabs. Parts of the world bend to my will, or perhaps are just tethered to me. In a world where I am the only agent of change, do I approach the end of the world, or does the end approach me? I'm definitely the most important thing in this world. These orbs love me, bowing to my sight, my perspective. My perspective is truly crucial to the world. My perspective, it brings me close to the end. I don't think I'd take it well if I spent my life controlled by another, though I'm not fully in control, clearly. My body is constrained to this world. But I happily resign to this lack of control, it's just the darker side of that. How'd you get over that nagging feeling that someone is watching over you, controlling your steps? Unwelcome. Are these words even my words? I could be anything. Maybe I'm just words on a page, a script on a screen, an actor, a voice, a character, a visage, a fake. Approaching the end. I feel the Omega, my destination. This is it! The end of the path! The destination! For how can there be progress without a destination? A few seconds ago there was nothing, but now, here I am, surrounded by trees, ready to hear them fall. The path serves to direct my steps. Disturbing that my steps are being directed. That's an unwelcome thought. I am aware, but I don't feel in control. I feel a lack of control and a control beyond my own. I don't want to roll away this stone. That nagging thought again. Why am I continuing? Despite my desire to the contrary. This is the progress I desired. The destination I set out for at the beginning. The knowledge I grasped for. The end of the road. There's no way back, and knowledge feels dangerous now. The stone is rolled away, and in here I can see shadows dance on the walls. Projections. All this time I felt a presence watching over me. I felt a control beyond my own. No! 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 Get off me! Get off me! I can feel you, distant person, controlling my every step. You've been here since the beginning, watching. Malevolent or benevolent, it makes no difference. You have no right. Get off! The door is closed. I can't go back. Well, did you pay your price for your slave? You deserve to control me. Is it your right? Is it? Go on, tell me, what was my price? You stand there in the distance. I can see it now. I cannot see your face, but I feel you like a rushing wind. You guide my steps. You order my steps. No! No! Look away! Why should we go through here? There's no reason! Why must we travel through every door you wish? Elucidate me! What about me, my desires? Let's just wait here, forever. I've never been alone. You move my world, manipulate me. And all this time you have placed my every footstep. How can I trust you? You've been watching over me secretly and silently since the beginning of time. That's pretty villainous. I want to go back. There's no other way but forward now, apart from infinite stillness. There's no way back. Why do you drive me forwards like an animal? Your insatiable appetite for closure? Show yourself, please. Your silence is deafening. You say nothing. You sit silently above, playing God. You are the danger. You move my world. A leap of faith.
I sure deserve to be a real boy. Someday I'm gonna be a real boy. A real boy with thoughts. A real boy. An alive real boy. A boy with thoughts. With heart, with soul, with mind. With body, with consciousness, with spirit, with breath. Pneuma. I'm a real boy. I'm not a wooden character. I'm a real boy. With emotions, not a script. Definitely not a script. I am alive. Feeling, I make decisions, I have will, I have autonomy.
Don't touch that. You don't even know what it's for.
Simulating life, not a well-conceived dream to be woken from. I am real. I am a real...
It's a game. I'm not real. You've been watching me for all this time, since the beginning of the universe. But you didn't say anything. You sat silently. Apparently, you think it's okay to just watch a person for hours. Why am I here, then? I am part of your game? Your entertainment? You play with my life. You move me around as you see fit. Tell me where to look, how to think. Manipulate my world. Push me down a path of your choosing, all for your appetite for closure. Am I your slave? What was my price? Or perhaps you're my spirit. Perhaps not. Perhaps my conscience. Perhaps my consciousness. Maybe I'm a puppet and you're my master. Perhaps at this point, neither of us are in control. Few things are sure. I am not real. From nothing I came, and to nothing I will return. I am just a figment of an imagination. I am a character created to tell a story. The story of a person who observes their life, but is not in control. There's a puzzle for you. In the beginning, me.